This is the GTN Show, and this week we have the Norwegian Trio dominating once more, a 24-hour running record getting broken, and swimming with Orcas.
Yeah, and we're also going to be discussing whether Motos are ruining our sport. We also have our Park Tool giveaway winners, and also some very exciting race results from the weekend. Right then, Fraser, this is a topic that I've wanted to tackle for quite a while now, but it's quite a big one. It is whether motos and vehicles are ruining our sport.
Yeah, it's a hot topic at the moment.
And it's something that's kind of plagued me for a while now because I've seen numerous races influenced by motos on course, vehicles on course. And I'm not just talking about this weekend, I'm talking about for years now, we've noticed it, and I almost feel like more and more so, more latterly. And what I mean is these vehicles that are out there getting video footage, photos, and sometimes other event vehicles, and they're basically either sheltering the athlete from the wind, or in fact, literally sitting bang in front of them, and they're getting essentially moto paced.
Yeah, in a little bit too obvious a fashion. But as you say, it's definitely not something that we're only just seeing now. I mean, I remember racing years ago and seeing arguments, pre-race and briefings where athletes are genuinely getting upset beforehand about the possibility of it being an issue, that lead motorbikes would influence the race. I've seen it in a race, unfortunately. I mean, I've led races and I've seen the effect that bikes can give because they get too close and it can get all of a sudden really messy in a race. That being said, I don't know if it is actually getting worse or we're just seeing more of it because of social media.
Perhaps it is social media sort of highlighting the impact of it. And it is actually worth pointing out that it's not all races, and also it's not all motorbikes. I mean, we use motos quite regularly for our own filming, and we use a very specialist team who also do a lot of triathlons, cycling and running events, and they are pro at their job and they know what they're doing, they know the rules inside out and they know the sport well. But what I think is happening is that events are hiring maybe local moto riders in, whether you're maybe on an island somewhere and it's limited access to some media companies that are specialists and trained in this field, and they're getting people in who don't know the sport, they don't know the rules, they're getting a quick briefing before the race, and they're just trying to get the best shots possible. They're trying to get their cameraman in the best place possible, but they are influencing the race. They think they've done a great job. Actually, they have influenced the race.
And there's an awful lot of peer pressure in that too, because you've got the motorbike driver doing what he's been told, very often being guided or coerced, shall we say, by the cameraman who's on that bike with him. And I guess that's almost the nub of the problem, because we want to see these pictures, we want the footage, and in fact, we're often commenting that we're not getting good enough footage from races, but we don't want it this much, so it's difficult.
Catch-22, isn't it? We're sort of caught in this. It's a dilemma, really, isn't it? We want, like you say, we really want that footage, but not if we're influencing the race. And also on the subject of photographers, I think this is something that's increasing with time, is where athletes are and brands are paying for photographers to go out and capture a number of different athletes during the race, or certain brands, and they're then dipping into athletes for numerous minutes at a time, 5 minutes, capturing a load of photos, then popping on to the next athlete. But if you're an athlete out there who hasn't got a photographer dipping in for 5 minutes to get a photo, you're essentially at a disadvantage because you're not getting a draft or motor paced or blocked from the wind. It's a tricky topic, isn't it?
It is, and I suppose we could also draw parallels to a far more established sport in cycling. And they've had motorbikes, vehicles, cameras since the dawn of television.
Yeah.
And you wonder how much of an impact they have had over the years. We saw a slight issue in the Tour de France this year with one of the final stages where Primož Roglič was off the front.
Descent.
Yeah, and riders behind were really upset afterwards because they knew how well they were descending and they couldn't close, albeit quite a small gap, but it was a race-winning gap. And because he effectively had a motorbike in front of him.
Well, we would love to hear from you guys, so we're going to throw us to a poll now. So do you think motos are ruining our sport? And it's a simple yes, no, or other, and you can hit that and then comment in the comment section below. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the discussion that comes.
We also have last week's poll, and that was, what's the greatest ever comeback in triathlon? Now, we brought this up in reference to Terenzo Bozzone with his incredible comeback. Unfortunately, we didn't see him feature over the weekend. I think maybe one race too far.
I think time caught up with him, but that maybe proves that he's human.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in last place, we have Matt Russell at 4%.
Nicholas Brigg at 6%, and Terenzo at 29%.
But the winner was Tim Don with 58%. And I mean, that was a pretty impressive comeback.
It was. I mean, to be fair, I would think Tim would rather not be the, the recipient of that. But yeah, I think it was definitely a big comeback. And this weekend, the Norwegian Trio, well, they were at it again after an unprecedented 1-2-3 at WTS Bermuda back in April, which was an incredible performance. They've now done it the same again at Ironman 70.3 Bahrain, albeit in a different order, we'll give them that, but it's really special racing.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, Christian Blumenfeld, Gustav Iden, and Kasper Stornes, and it's just the way that they work with each other, they push each other on both in training and racing. I'll be honest, I'm fascinated by it and this whole kind of team aspect to it.
In a sport that is individual, that's what makes it interesting, especially from my point of view.
Yeah, well, we wondered actually how well they know each other.
Who's the messiest?
Gustav.
It's me? Okay.
It's definitely not me.
I like to think I have control of my mess, but I often do things like, in the end. So I postpone the things the most.
Casper, what size feet does Christian have?
44.
In the US.
Yeah. No. In
I'm using US.
US. 10.
9.5.
Oh, close. Gustav, what size does Casper have?
He has 42 in Nike and 41.5 in Nike Vaporfly, 42.5 in other shoes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And now Christian, what about Gustav?
He is using 8.5 US.
I don't know what I'm using US.
Okay, he knows.
He used the same sizes as me.
There we go, okay. That answers that one. Who's the most competitive out of the three of you?
Me.
Who trains the hardest in your squad?
I think, I don't know, it's the same, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's me.
It's me, so. Yeah.
Who talks the most?
Gustav.
It depends, like what kind of day. He's the one who is coming with most of the jokes, but that's because he's like practicing. He's reading it and trying to remember them, and he's like finding.
Fake news.
No, when he see a joke, he's okay. What kind of situation can I use this joke? And like
Planning.
Yeah, he's planning the jokes, and then I reckon that's fake.
No, he's just like angry because he doesn't have any sense of humor and social intelligence.
Wow. Okay. Who eats the healthiest out of the three of you?
I will say I'm maybe the one who's most focused on it, like the nutrition.
Yeah, I would say the same. He has not like a weight problem because that is very, but he's much more focused on his eating than us. So me and Kasper are more like lucky in that sort of sense that we keep our weight good and stable. But
Okay.
Christian has to work more for it, and that is make him like much more smarter in his eating. So I would say Christian is the healthiest.
And Casper, I think I might know this answer, but who's the strongest in the gym?
Christian, you can see it.
Who is going to win the next race?
Me.
Okay.
Take this. Me.
The one who talks the most.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. That was a really great insight, and
Thank you.
let's hope you all win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's my birthday?
October 4th.
No one, yeah.
My 5K PB?
15:32.
I wish, Mark, but no, not that fast.
What's my shoe size?
10?
No. We make a terrible team phrase.
Yeah, teamwork's not really our forte.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the Norwegians. But whilst we talk about Norwegian trios doing well, there's actually another very famous Norwegian trio, and these are actually brothers. These are the Ingebrigtsen brothers, and they are very accomplished, top-level runners, both athletics and cross-country.
They're bona fide superstars in Norway, quite frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we take an example this year at the European Athletic Championships in Berlin, the trio worked together in a very similar way to the triathlon trio that we've been talking about, in that they helped the younger brother, Jacob, who was 17 at the time, take not only the 1500 title, but also the 5K title in the senior men's.
Yeah, and I remember watching it live and was gobsmacked with what was unfolding. I mean, it's incredible to see it happen. It never happens in athletics, let alone from a European nation. I mean, maybe in an Eastern Europe.
Actually, I mean, I've watched the race back a couple of times since, because it sort of gives me goose pimples watching it, in the way that they sort of take charge the front of the race, they take over the race, and there really is a clear team dynamics to try and string it out and help the brother to go ahead and take the win.
It was clearly a plan of attack.
Absolutely amazing. So it's impressive to see that again in an individual sport. But those brothers are also at it again, because this weekend we had the European Cross Country Championships.
And the younger brother, Jacob, well, he only went and won the under 20 title, sorry.
Yeah, and then the older brother, Philip, went on and won the senior men's title, which is quite impressive for a nation that I guess you'd probably normally say specialise in winter sports.
Yeah, I'd love to know what's going on in the back pages of the sport of the newspapers at the moment in Norway. I hope they're getting some coverage.
Well, this weekend we had American ultra runner Camille Herron running 163 miles.
Wait a minute, how far?
That is 262 kilometres. And in doing so, she broke the 24-hour running record for women.
Now let's think about this. What is that as a 400-metre running track? Because that is how they run these events.
Yeah, so she was actually taking part in the solstice, the Desert Solstice Invitational 24-hour race.
In Phoenix, wasn't it?
In Phoenix,
yeah.
So it's on an athletics track, 400 metres, which means it is 655 laps of your 400-metre track.
Yeah, that kind of beats your average 10 400s, doesn't it?
That puts it into some perspective, doesn't it? Yeah. So yeah, absolutely incredible effort, and obviously in doing so, she won the race outright, but also set this record.
It boggles my mind to just think about being able to do that in that, such a small. I mean, do they alternate their directions?
I don't know. All I do know is that she had a blip around the 18-hour mark. She was well on track for breaking the record. She had a blip around the 18-hour mark, and then seemed to find a new win in life and sort of kept it going. So yeah, incredible effort. Well done to you. Well, I've been fortunate enough in my years of swimming and triathlon to swim with dolphins. Have you?
Yeah, I have. In Hawaii once, I got a little bit of a fright, if I'm honest, because they're pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, anything that swims underneath you whilst you're paddling along is pretty scary. How about a pod of orca whales?
Yeah, I would want to get out of the water pretty sharpish.
Well, a lady in New Zealand, Judy Johnson, was actually out doing her normal morning swim when a pod of orca whales swam right up to her, underneath her, playing around, and the largest of the orcas actually decided it would roll onto its side and just sort of, almost like it was trying to nip at her feet for quite a considerable amount of time. I mean, she must have known it was happening.
Yeah, her spatial awareness would have to be pretty poor if she didn't.
But
incredible footage.
Yeah, I mean, this drone footage just shows her just paddling on, just keeping going, and yeah, absolutely amazing.
Hats off to you, Judy. So now it's time for our giveaway winners.
Yeah, we have 2 sets of the Park Tool Home Mechanic Starter Kit and their Team Issue Repair Stand to give away, and we have.
So congratulations to Rob Metcalf.
Yeah, and we also have a Diego George, so we'll be in touch over email, but congratulations to you both. Well, now time for us to take a look through some of the photos that you've sent in, and loads more pain caves. And to start off this week, we've got one sent in from Kuala Lumpur by Daniel.
He's got his Felt IA16 2018 model sitting there on his turbo. Not sure what turbo it is. Do you know?
Gravat, or a Magine or Magine, I don't know.
I really don't recognise it.
I recognise the brand name, but I've never actually seen the Felt IA in that colour red. Me
neither.
It's really striking. Actually, really looks quite nice.
Finished off with some nice matching bar tape.
Very nice. But yeah, it looks very tropical there, doesn't it? It's a very cool setup. They've said, my setup for endeavour and journey to become an Ironman comes with a nice view, but I doubt I'll enjoy it when the pain starts to hit.
Been there.
Very true, very true. Now moving on, we got this one sent in from Ontario, from Dale, and he's on his Fuji Aloha CF2.
With a few Ironman posters in the background there, all North American from what I can see. Texas, Canada, Boulder, Louisville, and then more Texas. So good work there. That's a lot of Ironmans.
Massive screen. And some very cool planks of wood, sort of shelving.
And a tired pup.
Yes, we can't ignore that. And of course, it's quite a cool treadmill over there, I can see. So yeah, quite a very nice setup there.
I would suggest in Ontario, Canada, you definitely need a nice warm inside go-to training room, so good work.
Very true. And this next one is sent in from Andrew. He's at Busselton, Western Australia. I'm assuming the Ironman there. And he has got a Ribble Aero TT, which is actually a British brand. I wasn't sure whether you could get that over in Australia, so maybe this is a British.
Or whether Andrew was there racing and is British.
Potentially,
yeah. Let us know.
So he completed the Ironman in 10 hours, 37 minutes with a 1 hour 17 swim. So congratulations to you, that's brilliant. And yeah, I mean, very nice setup there with a zip disc as well.
Always liked a zip disc.
They do look good, don't they? And finally, we've got Schroed 2.0, and this is in their home. They've got their Orbea Ordu M30 on their Tax Flux Smart.
And a very, very nice looking Canyon there as well.
Yeah, brand new. In fact, they said they've got their new Speedmax CF SLX today and thought it would fit in well because Canyon is our newest partner on GTN. He's about to hit the bike course at Ironman Frankfurt and has pro ambitions.
Well, I presume he's not going to be flying into Frankfurt, but
yeah,
hopefully he's got some sort of program there, but good work.
And yeah, he hopes to become pro on Ironman. He's working as hard as he can, although he's only 22 years old, and he's very grateful for a possible feature. And here is your feature, and best of luck to you.
Work hard.
Yeah. Well, this weekend we had the inaugural Patagonman, which is a new addition to the ever-growing X-Tri series, which has Norseman as its headline event. And this weekend we had a tough field up front on the men's side. We had Mauricio Mendes, the previous Xterra world champion, taking the win. And in second place, it was the multiple Norseman winner, Alan Hovde. But over on the women's side, it was Lucy Gossage that took the win and actually took 6th place overall. But winning the women's race by 2 hours, although in her own admission wasn't the best prepared. And she said, I felt a bit stupid not bringing trail shoes and a hydration system. I thought they had exaggerated how hard it was. They didn't. Well, Lucy, perhaps the clue is in the name with Extreme Triathlon series and the fact it was in the mountainous Patagonia region. But anyway, it sounds like a job well done regardless, so congratulations to you all. Our next bit of race news was Ironman 70.3 Bahrain, which is in fact where Heather is right now. So she's been getting loads of content out there for us, and she's managed to catch up with some of the pros out there, and she's going to run us through what went down in the race there now.
Wow, what an incredibly exciting race. And as you can see, the age groupers are still completing their run behind us. But let's reflect quickly on the men's race. Started with the swim, and it was Eric Watson and Adam Bowden who were first out of the water. But just 30 seconds back, we had Christian Blumenfeld and Kasper Stornes. And then another 30 seconds back, Gustav Iden. But it didn't take the Norwegian Trio very long till they started to work together on the bike. Adam Bowden also stayed in the mix, and it wasn't until the very latter stages of the bike that they just put in a little bit of a gap to Adam Bowden. So coming into T2, it was the Norwegians 1, 2 and 3, and then out onto the run. Very quickly, Gustav Iden and Christian Blumenfeld worked together, and you can see Kasper Stornes just never quite able to get onto the heels of his teammates, but he managed to maintain that position. It looked at one point that the newbie to the 70.3 was going to start to struggle, but Adam Bowden could never really do much to close that gap. So at the front end of the race, it came down to a strong finish from Christian Blumenfeld, who ended up opening a gap over his teammate Gustav Iden. He ran a 1:06.58, an incredible half marathon time to break the world record for the Ironman 70.3. The previous time was a 3:34. Christian came home in a 3:29.04, clocking a half marathon of a 1:06.58. Gustav Iden came home in second, also breaking that previous record. And then to make it a 1:23 for Norway, Kasper Stornes completed home in third, also under that previous record. Adam Bowden finished fourth, and then we had Matt Trautman in fifth. On the women's race, all eyes were on Holly Lawrence, defending champion. This is her first race back after a long time out for injury, and she didn't disappoint in the swim. She came out of the water with a minute's lead over Ellie Salthouse. A slightly disappointing swim. When I spoke to Ellie afterwards, she said she'd been on the feet of Holly and then lost them, so it meant she had some work to do on the bike. She was joined by Amelia Watkinson, and then later on Sarah Lewis actually joined that trio as they tried to close the gap on Holly. At some point it looked like it was closing, but Holly opened it up, maintained a very strong bike ride to come into T2 with a significant lead, and it was then out onto the run, and this was where Holly's fitness was going to be tested, and she did not falter. She ran away with the win to come in with a time under 4 hours, 3 hour 59, quite a comeback for Holly Lawrence. And the battle then was for second and third. Sarah Lewis had an incredibly strong run, looked to be closing in the latter stages, but a little too late for her. She finished in second place to guarantee that slot at the World Championships, and then third home it was Ellie Salthouse.
Now, this weekend we had a new event in Southern California, and that was Ironman 70.3 La Quinta Indian Wells. Now, this is an area that's normally famed for its golf and tennis, but now triathlon. And actually this weekend they feared that the swim would have to be cancelled because of the water temperatures being too cold. In fact, the swim did still go ahead, but some of the athletes had to opt for booties to keep warm. But in the men's race, it actually pretty much came down to a running race. It was Lionel Sanders that pushed ahead to take the win, overcoming a disappointing result at the Ironman World Championships in Hawaii. Joe Gambles took second and Kenneth Pettersson took third. But over in the women's race, it was Hayley Chura that led the swim out with about a 2-minute advantage. But then onto the bike, it was Chelsea Sodaro that came through, putting in a very good bike split to catch up and continue that on the run to take the win overall. Hayley Chura took second, and in third, it was Carrie Lester. Now, this weekend, we also had a small but strong field at Ironman 70.3 Taupo. We had the likes of former Ironman 70.3 world champion Tim Reed and also New Zealand's Mike Phillips, who also happens to hold the fastest Ironman distance debut time. So some pretty big hitters. Now, 4 of them came out of the swim together and then worked together on the bike to gain a 6-minute advantage over the chasers. And it seemed to be a race between Mike Phillips and Tim Reed on the run. But in his own admission, Tim Reed said the wheels just fell off at about halfway, and that allowed Mike Phillips to go on to take the win. But then for Tim Reed, he also had his coached athlete, Casey Monroe, chasing him, and he eventually passed Tim Reed to take second, and Tim Reed hung on for third. But over in the women's race, it was Rebecca Clark that led the swim out with Radka Kardefelt in close contention just behind. And it seemed to be a race between the two, coming into T2 of about a 90-second advantage over Jocelyn McCauley. But it was Radka Kardefelt that pushed ahead to take that win. Jocelyn McCauley came through on the run to take second, and Rebecca Clark hung on for third. Well, now let's get involved in the caption competition. And last week's photo was of Meredith Kessler, kind of missing her mouth when she threw the water at her. So we've got some great captions coming in.
What? Is this non-alcoholic?
Very good. That was sent in from Felix Galore.
Oh, I'm not sure I'd be wanting alcoholic drinks during an Ironman.
Might numb the pain, you never know. Yeah. Joshua Pryor said, it's so dry in Arizona that the water evaporates before it even gets to your mouth.
It is dry over there. Another one is, that was my urine sample, which is a bit yuck.
Yeah, it's a bit crude, but that was sent in by Lord Burt. And then the winning one, and this is quite a clever one, sent in by Christian Clausen, said, hydration showed to be quite a problem at the ISS Ironman. And ISS stands for International Space Station.
And I had to get Mark to explain that to me. So.
I thought it was quite funny because it looks like zero gravity and she's struggling to get in her mouth. So I've chosen you. Maybe it's a little bit complicated, but Christian Clausen, you are the GTN Caption Comp winner for this week. And I also found this photo, which I thought was just quite funny, from Miyazaki ITU World Cup, where it just seems like people are struggling to get water into their mouth, really trying, but just can't.
I think it's going everywhere but where it needs to go, isn't it?
But for this week's Caption Comp photo, it's you again, Fraser.
Again, you'd be fed up of it. I'm getting fed up of it.
I just love the fact that this boy's got his water pistol pointing, well, right at your crotch.
Yeah, I would say I was completely oblivious to that looking at the picture, but that's Staffordshire 70.3 last year, I think.
Well, you look like you're in a fair bit of pain there, and I'm not sure if it's because the boys literally just shot you in the crotch or...
It was a warm day last summer, so I guess I was in a bit of pain. It was hot, but I just hope he was trying to do some good, I think. But yeah, I don't remember it.
Well, we would love to hear your caption comments, and please leave them in the comment section below.
Well, that's all from us for this week. If by any chance you've still got your Christmas shopping to do, then give the GTN shop a little bit of a visit.
Yeah, we've got all sorts there. We've got swim caps, towels, t-shirts, cycling kit, you name it, it's all there. And to head on over to the shop, you just want to click on the shop icon now. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, if you have enjoyed it. And if you'd like to see more from GTN, you can just click on the globe now and subscribe.
And for the video we did about fartlek running, you can hit that here.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see our GTN Xmas list, then just click down here.